Varden. Also, we have that warning there, and that will continue to progress eastward. This is moving at about 40 miles per hour south Charleston. You'll want to be in your safe spot. I'm going to open up this. It does look like potentially if they continued that one. They also have a special weather statement for Clinton, Greene, and Warren. So that's just for a strong thunderstorm. That's for Clinton, Greene, and Warren County as well.
Now, just be aware we are actually into our 5 a.m. show. So again, this morning we're starting out a little bit differently than we normally would. Natalie Walters is in here because we have had severe thunderstorms, including a tornado warning ongoing. This is something we've been tracking here for a better part of a half hour, actually almost an hour and a half when you go back to Preble and parts of that area. This has been a case where we have had an area or two of greater concern. So we do have a radar confirmed tornado.
Okay, southeast of Springfield.
So that's right where we were talking about there,
Yeah.
Natalie. Yeah. So that, I mean, you can see that Harmony Township area, the reds, the oranges, that is an area where it has been really concerning. And actually, if it's all right by you, I'm going to get on air and just show you.
Yeah.
So again, the rotation here, this is Harmony Township. This is a big concern. This is likely a tornado on the ground. So if you are Plattsburgh, you need to start taking shelter. Over towards South Vienna, again, this area has been one that we've been keeping our eyes on for the last 5 minutes. This is tracking the potential for a tornado on the ground. Again, this is something that we're going to have to watch rather closely across the area. So, again, tornado potentially on the ground as of right now.
Yeah, radar confirmed at this moment. So that means that the radar is picking up debris. So it's picking up things lofted in the air. So it means that this rotation is, the winds are picking up whatever it may be. This is now making its way eastward. So this tornado warning, this is until 5:30 a.m. Plattsburgh, South Vienna, you will want to be in your safe spot at this time. Again, we have a confirmed tornado, radar confirmed tornado just east of the Springfield area. Yeah. And there you can see with this is the radar basically picking up anything that's not rain, and you could actually see how it made its way east of Springfield and now north of Plattsburgh, and it looks like potentially a little bit more than what it was before, meaning picking up a little bit more debris than it was. Plattsburgh, South Vienna, looks like there is a tornado on the ground making its way eastward. So please do get in your safe spot at this time. You want to take this very seriously as it continues to race its way off to the east.
Yeah, again, this is an area, it doesn't look impressive when you actually look at the radar. It's all about the velocity. So again, based on the fact that we saw this couplet and we were, Natalie and I were literally on it the second we started, okay, this is not looking good. Confirmed tornado on the ground. Let's actually go back a half hour just to show you how this developed. So this developed right there. You see the oranges and the greens right next to each other. That is very indicative of rotation.
This was to kind of pinpoint locations. This was west of Thorpe's, and yeah, we were monitoring this earlier. So south of Harmony Township. So this crossed over I-70. Again, this is the radar indicated tornado. So we have a confirmed tornado with this storm. Now this is at 4:56 a.m. So this was about 12 minutes ago. It then made its way a little bit more northeastward, kind of traveled east of I-70. So there's a Ladybourne Road north of Thorpe's, and then it continued to make its way eastward, so southeast of Harmony Township, so near Fletcher Pike, Plattsburgh Road. Again, We know that there was debris lofted in the air with this storm, and then again, Plattsburgh Road, South Buena Vista Road, and then before it now made its way between South Vienna and Plattsburgh. And it does look like it has since weakened, but it does look like perhaps there was a tornado on the ground for several miles at least before it made its way, even longer than that before it made its way off to the east. If we could kind of measure the distance, how long potentially this was on the ground, maybe about 10 miles or so, there was a confirmed tornado lofting debris in the air.
Yeah, and so it's worth pointing out, Natalie, that when you and I were watching this, we were watching the whole line, but this one stuck out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
You know, we were watching a whole line with tornado warnings. Okay, every once in a while, a little spit up, and then we saw this one went, okay, look at that. The oranges started to show up. We saw the 100-mile-an-hour velocity. That was a sign that, again, it was.
Not only do we have, of course, we're talking about this tornado that we have confirmed that was southeast of Springfield. It was near the Thorpes area. We also know that there are 8,000 people without power this morning. So that's why we're here with you on Facebook Live, giving you updates. Was that an update? They canceled that tornado warning?
I'm looking at it. It now looks like it is out of our area. But again, radar confirmed tornado, I think, is going to be the major headline of this morning.
Yeah.
Now, again, we do have a reporter. We'll probably talk it over, figure out where we're getting reports. If you have reports, please send them in, whether that's on our Facebook or our chime-in section of our website or an app. Again, based on this, based on what we saw, it is very likely that we did have a confirmed tornado just southeast of Springfield, so over towards the Harmony Township area, as well as perhaps Thorpes. And that was something that really did stick out. And I mean, you could see now, and now what I would love to do here is I'm just going to use the arrow to show you. This is how we would basically confirm. So this area here, okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to switch it over to the velocity and show you the velocity at that time. And there you could see, there's your couplet. So here's your, let me switch to this tool here. There we go. Here's your couplet where it's going this way and it's going that way. Again, very strong rotation at the time. That's where we saw the debris ball. One thing that I'm not quite sure that we ever did see, excuse me, was any type of hook echo. And
right.
In this environment, you're not going to see that because of just how everything kind of shaped up. But again, at this stage, radar confirmed tornado, did see several signs that points to touchdown as well. So again, we're monitoring this situation. The tornado warning has now expired.
It's east of our area now. So of course, if you have friends, family east of Clark County, this is now over the London area. So this line is now making its way into Columbus. But again, as you mentioned, major headline is southeast of Springfield and Clark County, confirmed tornado on the ground near the Thorpes area that made its way eastward. Thankfully, as you can see back off west now, that we have some clearing near Eaton, clear now, Greenville, clear now, even Dayton, you're likely hearing some thunder, seeing lightning across the area. In fact, still a couple of lightning strikes across the area too. So we're monitoring this very closely. Of course, severe threat, it's starting to diminish a bit. We still have strong winds in Xenia, but that tornado warning has now exited our area. We're going to continue to track this confirmed tornado, radar confirmed tornado southeast of Springfield. We're going to have the latest on that, and we're going to send you to break, but we'll be back with you guys in just a few minutes.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert. This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Big storyline this morning. A radar-confirmed tornado did hit just to the southeast of Springfield. So this was just shy of 5 a.m. So this was about, we're going to actually send this clock back to about 4:45 and continue through 5. So here we are, 4:45, not much. And then right there, about 4:54, we start to see signs of rotation. Now, we do see the oranges there and as well as the greens. The orange itself, if we were actually to go down and look at it, it was showing upwards of 80, 90. I think at one point we saw 100-mile-an-hour wind speeds with it. Now, around that same time, we noticed on our other product here, this is measuring the amount of consistency, let's use that term, of what's in the air. And what you're going to notice is a green blob there. So that's at 4:56. So right about that time period, that is where we did expect there to be a tornado on the ground based off of radar, whether it was the velocity, whether it was this, believe the product is called correlation coefficient. And notice how it continued east. It did weaken a little bit, but right along I-70 there, we did have the threat of a tornado touchdown. And again, this, I believe, is right about the Thorpe's area. So State Road 41, you can see how the green went over that, perhaps maybe even went over the interstate itself. Now, let's get you to right now, because obviously it's a lot more, I'm going to use the term quiet in the sense of no severe weather. We still have a lot of storms. This line from just to the west of suburbs of Columbus down towards Lebanon, Springboro area still seeing showers. None of this is severe. However, there still may be some gusty winds. Probably not going to be 50 to 60 mile per hour winds, but there is going to be some strong wind gusts as well. So again, the main threat for severe weather is now over. The big concern is that we may have had a tornado touchdown over in the Springfield area. So again, that is something that we did have. Our Milena Brown is out. Do we have a live shot from her by any chance? Or okay, we do not have that. Again, she is on the move. So we're just going to continue with weather here for the next, let's say, hour, 2 hours. It's all about when these storms move. I do also have some concern about later on today, but I'll touch on that in just a second. So let's put a idea of how quickly these will be moving out. Let's grab our line tool. We'll drag that down and move it to the east. Again, these have been moving 45-ish miles per hour. So let's say over the next half hour to be over Wilmington. Probably by 6 a.m. it should be out of our area completely. And then for the rain itself, that will take just a bit longer. So we'll actually show you. So Hamilton area, 5:30, Marysville, 6. So for all intents and purposes, let's say 6:30, we'll see a lot of the rain out of here. Now, the reason why I do have some concern is because temperatures are going to be likely to be dropping behind this. So we do have current check, 7,700 customers without power. And the concern is behind it, we do expect some cold weather. So let's actually see where that cold weather now is, and then we could get a kind of a feel for the rest of today. It is right now straddling Indiana. So with the cold weather on its way, if you're without power, you know, some of us have left the windows open. Some of us have also perhaps maybe turned off our AC or heat. That is a concern because it is going to turn sharply colder, and you can see those 30s aren't that far away, and the gradient is rather tight. So over the next 7-8 hours, we're going to go from around 60, which is all intents and purposes room temperature-ish, to the 30s, which is very cold. So again, a very cold second half of the day on tap for today, and from there we may actually see perhaps an area or two where we do get flurries or something similar. So again, very cold afternoon and evening for us across the Miami Valley, but one that at least at this stage will not feature any severe weather. Again, big storyline this morning. There was the potential or a radar confirmed touchdown of a tornado based on the velocity, based on a debris ball signature. We do believe that a tornado did touch down over southeast part of the Springfield area. As of right now, the storm has continued east into London, and actually another lofted debris signature there as well. So that is where we're at right for now. Again, we're going to continue to watch this. If you're heading out to Columbus, severe weather now moving into that area. We're going to toss it over to our news anchors, and we'll continue to update you as we get more information, not only out of Springfield, but out of everywhere else.
And of course, to get updates sent directly to your phone for all of these weather situations and warnings and any new developments this morning, of course, download the Dayton 24/7 Now app. Just scan the QR code on your screen right now. You can also find it for free in your device's app store. Of course, we got Melina Brown on our way to the area where that radar confirmed touchdown was. And of course, we will continue to bring you the very latest both on air and online.
You're watching Your Day.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
As we wake up this morning, we have live team coverage covering all elements of the storms that have gone through the Miami Valley. Right now, all warnings for tornadoes have been canceled, but there has been a radar confirmed, touchdown just outside of Clark County.
That's right. Our meteorologists have been working hard this morning. You can see Natalie in the background there, and Nick is in the weather center. Nick, how is it looking out there at this point?
It's still pretty busy in the grand scheme of things. We do have thunderstorms. So let's touch on what's going on right now. Columbus area, in fact, I believe it's actually maybe the city of Columbus is under a tornado warning, but for our area, there is no tornado warnings as of right now. And actually, yes, city of Columbus is under a tornado warning. Wilmington, Lebanon area, we're continuing to see these showers probably for the next half hour or so. Now, the big headline of this morning was up in the Springfield area. We're going to go over to that. We're going to go show you the time period. So the time period was between about 4:50, I believe it was 4:55 and also 6. So again, this was a time period, 4:55 and 5:05. There we go. That was where we did have a radar confirmed tornado. We'll actually show you why we think it is, and then we can kind of talk about what to expect the rest of the day. Again, when you get a tornado confirmed on the ground, that's going to take precedence over what's happening right now when right now is very, very quiet. So here's what it looked like this morning. You see the radar, the greens and the reds there. This was a sign that it did produce a tornado on the ground. The other way that we looked at it was this correlation coefficient. So again, this is a product that measures debris balls, and we have a debris ball signature in an area where the winds were very, very high. So that's why we did actually think that there was a tornado on the ground. Now, one thing that we're also going to have to watch closely is how traffic moves in all this, whether or not we have any damage reports. So that is something also we'll keep in mind. Right for now, I'm not seeing anything at this stage that suggests that any of the interstates in Dayton were hit, but we'll continue to keep our eyes on that. Of course, continue to keep you updated on any damage reports in and out of the Springfield area.
All right, let's take a live look at the AES outage maps right now on your screen. We're seeing a number of outages here in the Miami Valley. We're just around 8,000 at this hour. You could see some of the primary areas right there, Miami, Montgomery counties. I mean, look, it's a wide range of outcomes right now, but just be patient right now. Crews are working to get things reestablished, but again, there are a lot of outages due to the storms that just passed through.
And to get the latest updates sent directly to your phone, download our Dayton 24/7 Now app. Just scan the QR code on your screen right now. You can also find it for free in your device's app store.
The investigation into the Montgomery County Board of Elections leaked document is over, and we now have a copy of the final report.
Jenny Bork has more about what the investigation revealed.
The investigations report we received through a public records request says that Deputy Director Russ Joseph forwarded the document to his own private email address and then sent it to Montgomery County Democratic Party Chairman Mohammed Al-Hamdani.
It also reveals Al-Hamdani then sent an email with the document to Dennis Lieberman, who's the legal counsel for the Montgomery County Democratic Party, but also the husband of Montgomery County Commission President Deborah Lieberman, who is Mary McDonald's opponent. Dennis Lieberman then sent it to Don McTeague, the legal counsel for the protesters, who said McDonald didn't file the correct paperwork to run as a Republican. Deputy Director Joseph sent me this statement in part today. Quote, I made a mistake in releasing the prosecutor's memo. It was not labeled as a privileged document, nor did it cross my mind at the time that it might be, end quote. He went on to say he disclosed his mistake to Chairwoman McLinn and board member Gorman after the hearing and told Montgomery County BOE Director Jeff Rezebek first thing the next day. I asked Al-Hamdani why he believes Joseph sent him the document in the first place.
I'm assuming the document you're talking about is the legal research memo that their attorney did. Well, I mean, I think he did it because he felt he needed to keep his chairman approved. That's what a lot of them do. Russ is the Democrat in that, and then Jeff is the Republican. And both Jeff speaks to his chairman and Russ speaks to me, kind of keeps me up to date in what's happening internally within the board, any conflicts, any issues that I need to be aware.
The board did vote to make the memo public. They also suggested Joseph undergo public records training, but didn't suspend him or let him go. Back to you.
Former Ohio House Speaker Larry Householder is appealing his conviction and prison sentence this morning. Householder's attorneys claim the federal government used him as a scapegoat. The former House Speaker was found guilty of taking millions of dollars in bribes to pass and uphold a nuclear plant bailout. A judge sentenced Householder to 20 years last year. The $61 million bribery scheme is the largest corruption case in Ohio history.
The trial for the man accused of attempting to kidnap a child at an elementary school continues this morning. Jurors saw body camera footage of Reed Duran trying to stab an officer in court yesterday. They also heard testimony from the father of the alleged intended victim. Investigators say he impersonated a parent at an open house at St. Bridget's School in 2022. Prosecutors say Duran planned to drug and kidnap a child. Duran pled not guilty by reason of insanity. He's back in court later this morning.
A grand jury has indicted the woman accused of killing 5-year-old Darnell Taylor. Pammy May now faces several charges, including aggravated murder, abuse of a corpse, and 3 counts of tampering with evidence. She's accused of killing the boy and dumping his body in a Columbus sewer drain. Police say Taylor died of asphyxiation. May is set to be arraigned Friday.
The mother of a woman killed in a hit and run is asking for your help this morning. 43-year-old Tiffany Anderson died just over a year ago after a car accident on Redwood Avenue. The other driver involved left the scene before police arrived. Dayton police are still looking for suspects.
Myself and her and the rest of the family, we want answers. Her children deserve to see this person in court.
And as the motorists, again, look for those pedestrians, look for small children, people in wheelchairs, those sort of things that might not be at the normal height that you would expect a pedestrian, and just be aware of those sort of things.
If you have information that could help in the investigation, call Detective Reiser at 937-333-1142 or call Miami Valley Crime Stoppers at 937-222-STOP.
Our time right now is 5:31. Don't forget you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of the screen.
And your weather on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
I'm Kayla Gaskins. Coming up, the issue Americans are most likely to say is the biggest problem facing the United States and how those poll numbers are driving political pivots.
And radar confirmed tornado was on the ground around 5 a.m. We're continuing our coverage from the southeast of Springfield.
You're watching Your Day.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
Okay, so this morning around 5 a.m. we did have a radar confirmed tornado on the ground just around the I-70 area southeast of Springfield. This is where we did have the debris ball signature. We also had velocity that did show us that it is likely for a tornado, and you can actually see some of the oranges, the greens, and in particular that orange there, very indicative of it. Now, I don't want to lose sight of today, and today in particular is going to turn sharply colder, so keep in mind today going to be generally cloudy with some flurries possible second half. Look at that temperature and how it goes down, down, down. It is going to be a much colder second half of the day. Keep that in mind, especially if you are one of those that may have lost power. You're going to need a way to keep warm today. Again, temperatures falling all the way into the low 30s by the time we get into the evening hours. Right for now, it is around 60 for context.
And we are continuing our team coverage of this weather.
Now let's check in with Melina Brown. She is live on the roads right now, actually heading to Harmony Township, where there is some damage reports coming out this morning. Melina?
That is absolutely correct, Nathan. I'm just going to quickly flash the camera forward so that you can see. Right now we are on 675 headed towards I-70. Like you just said, we did get some reports about some damage in Harmony Township. We know that is where the radar confirmed tornado touchdown. We are going to work to see if there's any damage and bring you guys those updates here, obviously on air, and I was just live on Facebook. We know people are active on both social media and watching our show, so we want to give them as much information as possible. Right now on the roads, the wind has definitely slowed down a bit. There isn't as much rain compared to 25-30 minutes ago when we first left, when the rain was really downpouring. I still have seen a few strikes of lightning here and there, but it has certainly calmed down. We actually just entered Clark County. We just passed the sign entering Clark County. We should be in the area where that radar tornado that we saw touch down in about 20 minutes. So continue following. We're going to see if there is any damage that we can see. Obviously, it's dark right now, which makes it extremely dangerous and also, scary for people that are in the area having to deal with this. But right now we do know that it has passed. I have been constantly checking the National Weather Service's page. They have said that this storm that was initially in this area where that tornado warning and tornado they saw on radar did touch down has moved past that area. So right now we are just continuing to follow it and see if we can find any damage. But right now I'm just going to send things back to you guys in studio.
Thanks, Melina. Now we want to give you a live look at the AES Ohio outage map. Right now, there are around 9,000 customers without power. And as I take a closer look at the map here, it looks like there are three major areas, one of those being around the Caroline Park area. There are 1,100 customers affected down there. And then up near the Phoneton area between Huber Heights and Tip City, it looks like you have about 5,600 customers affected at this time. Other than that, it does appear that many of the reports of outages are scattered throughout the Miami Valley. Crews are working right now to restore power, and of course we'll continue to provide you updates all morning long. And of course, you help us tell the story. We want to see your storm pictures. If you see any damage in your neighborhoods and you can safely take a picture of it or video, chime it in by scanning the QR code on your screen. You can click on the Chime In tab on our website as well. That's Dayton247now.com. And as soon as the pictures start coming in this morning, of course, we will begin to air them and show you some of the damage reports throughout the Miami Valley.
Norfolk Southern CEO Alan Shaw got a big raise last year despite a financially and ecologically disastrous train derailment in East Palestine. Shaw got $13.4 million in total compensation in 2023, up from the $9.8 million in 2022. Part of the increase is due to him working more months as CEO last year than the year before. An investor group wants to elect an alternative slate of candidates to the company's board of directors with the goal of replacing Shaw. The group says the board should not have rewarded Shaw with a massive raise.
Our time right now is 5:39. Dayton men's basketball back home after almost a week between games. Could the Flyers stay perfect at home against Davison? Coming up, Matt Digby breaks down last night's game.
You're watching Your Day.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
All right, good morning. Unfortunately, our graphics there was glitching out and showing Toledo. Gotta love when your graphics just decide to take forever to load. All right, as for this morning, here's what we're looking at. We did have severe weather move through the area. Columbus area still under a tornado warning, one also further to the northeast. Meanwhile, Wilmington, Lebanon area, still some showers in that area. Now, we've focused very much so on the tornado that radar indicated did hit just southeast of the Springfield area. So let's focus in on today. Today, notice that temperature of upper 50s. Yeah, no, that's already happened. We are going to drop down into the 40s and 30s later on. It is going to turn very much so colder across the area. And as we do get that colder air, it is shaping up to be a very cold overnight. Again, I'm sorry about the graphic there. It is going to be just cold and clear. For tomorrow, should be generally sunny and much cooler. Beyond that, temperatures should rebound nicely for the weekend. Does look like Tuesday a chance of rain, but overall a much more quiet forecast for us for the weekend, but also a cooler one as well. On the roads this morning, obviously a big concern would be any type of debris across the area. At one point, we did get actually a report of a fallen tree, but that has either been cleaned up or maybe that was just a false report. Either way, James H. McGee Boulevard, 2nd Street incident there, and then Boomershine at Manning Road. So those are the two incidents this morning. It does look like maybe 75 has a little bit of a slowdown in the southbound direction. Yeah, we'll check that in just a little bit.
And of course, we want to see any damage that happened in your neighborhood. If you can do so safely, go outside, take a picture or video, and chime them in by scanning the QR code on your screen. Now, you can also click on the Chime In tab on our website, Dayton247now.com. Again, your pictures and videos help us tell the story of this developing weather situation, and we appreciate any help you can provide. Of course, just scan the QR code on your screen. You may see it live on the air.
A slow start Tuesday night at University of Dayton Arena, but that did not come back to hurt Dayton men's basketball. The Flyers ending up winning comfortably 80-66 over the Wildcats of Davidson College. Now, the visitors did take a little bit of advantage from that slow UD start. They jumped out to a 6-0 lead, but a big run for the Flyers, led in large part by Enoch Cheeks. The majority of his 15 points for the game scored in that run, and that would be the big story for Dayton men's basketball. They were able to spread the wealth and have 6 players when all was said and done in double figures. Yes, Deron Holmes had a double-double with 14 points and 10 rebounds, but Kobe Brea was 17 points off the bench. Kobe Elvis, 11 points. And it was the Dayton Flyers maintaining their perfect home record on Tuesday night.
It shows, the maturity level of the team for sure. After the Mason game, we sat in the locker room. We talked for a long time about how we could all be better. So that just shows we all want to do better and, make sure we come out the next game. It was good that we had, a week off to kind of prep for this. And we really wanted to get ourselves, going before we went into Loyola.
It's awesome to be in that situation. We have so many guys that are able to make one play, and you just feel like the momentum come right away. And, we're a team that, once we see that ball go through the rim one time, we just keep going. We have so many players and so many weapons that, are able to contribute for us. So.
We didn't necessarily start our best, but I thought they stayed the course. I thought defensively, we got great efforts tonight all the way across the board. I thought offensively, the ball movement in the first half was as good as we've had in quite some time. I thought they really shared the ball. When you look at the stat sheet and you see 6 guys in double figures, I think that's indicative of, what this team is capable of.
Now, with Tuesday's win, Dayton has secured a top 4 seed in the Atlantic 10 tournament in a couple of weeks' time. That means the Flyers will have a bye through the first and second rounds. They won't play until the quarterfinals. The Flyers will be involved in a key contest Friday night when they go on the road to Loyola, Chicago, the only meeting of the regular season between the Flyers and the Ramblers. At UD Arena, I'm Matt Digby.
Well, we talked about this issue. Just noticed this southbound Benchwood Road. Doesn't look like it's shut down as of right now, but up in the distance, I can see some flashing lights. Right for now, though, big delay on the north side of town, this I-75 south. So again, something we're watching closely, not only the after effects of weather, but ongoing traffic issue this morning.
Former President Trump is one step closer to clinching the Republican nomination. He handedly won the Michigan primaries yesterday. The former president got 68% of the vote in the state up north. Meanwhile, President Biden also walking away with an easy victory in Michigan. But the Democratic results are showing some warning signs for him. Nearly 14% of Democratic primary voters cast a ballot for uncommitted. Several Arab and Muslim groups encouraged that protest vote in response to the president's handling of the war in Gaza. Dearborn, Michigan, in suburban Detroit, is home to the country's largest Muslim population per capita.
A federal judge is pushing back on how Congress passed a major spending bill in 2022. The judge ruled the Democratic-led House violated the Constitution by using proxy voting to pass the measure. According to the ruling, the House violated the Constitution's quorum clause. There weren't enough members physically present for a vote on the bill. Instead, the chamber passed it by allowing lawmakers to vote by proxy. The House ended proxy voting when Republicans took the majority after the 2022 election. The Justice Department declined to comment on the ruling.
Our time right now is 5:48. You're watching Your Day.
Saturday and Sunday, temperatures are going to stay mild.
All right, you're taking a look at some chime-in video this morning. These are strong winds in Bethel Township sent to us by Emily. You could see it just absolutely whipping that rain all over the place. The tree in the background holding its own in those winds. And we do know that this entire area was involved in the tornado warnings earlier. And of course, Nick has more on that radar confirmed touchdown in Clark County.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
All right, Nathan, we're going to start out, actually, let's start out 3 hours ago, because I think that's important to provide just an entire overview. So around 3, 4 in the morning, storm started. I believe it was maybe around 4. The Eaton area was put under a tornado warning. We went live on the air for that. And then we were live on the air right around 4:30 as it passed through Dayton. Now, once it did pass through Dayton, there were scenes that just to the east, in particular, Clark and Greene counties, we're starting to see spins. So here we are, 4:36. there was this area was put under a tornado warning. As it continued, it was just maybe right around this period where we did have not just a tornado warning, but actually a confirmed tornado on the ground. And what we did see was the velocity, in particular just southeast here of the greater Springfield area. This particular velocity was the sign of a tornado, and you can see the orange there by Thorpe's, and as it continued east. Another way to look at it, we had a debris ball signature. Now, this debris ball does show up a little bit later than the actual radar itself, so think of it as being maybe a couple minutes behind actually where it was. But the general theme is for right just before 5 a.m., a tornado touchdown in the greater Springfield area. Now, we'll get into the forecast itself in more detail, but for right now, we do expect today to be a breezy day, a windy day, and a much colder day. The high in the upper 50s will give way to 40s, and then from there, 50s and 60s. So we are going to see some milder temperatures for early next week. On the roads this morning, big issue right now is over at Benchwood Road. Significant delay there. I-75 is very slow going there. It is moving as of last check, so that's good news. But again, big delay on I-75 South near Benchwood.
And now we want to give you a live look at the AES outage map right now. Currently, there are 9,900 customers without power at this time. A good chunk of those power outages are in the Vandalia, Huber Heights, Tip City area, and then also it looks like there's a large chunk out by Yellow Springs as well, and even by the Carolyn Park area. So crews are working diligently to get the power back on, but clearly with some of the heavy winds that we experienced this morning, it was quite a volatile situation for many of our power lines. And of course, to get the very latest updates sent directly to your phone, download the Dayton 24/7 Now app. Scan the QR code right there on your screen. You can find it for free in your device's app store.
A Stanford University study found that large majorities of participants between 65 and 103 years old enjoyed virtual reality. It improved both their emotions and their interactions with staff. Now, the study is part of a larger effort to adapt VR so it can be beneficial to seniors' health and emotional well-being and help lessen the impact dementia has on some of them. During the testing, seniors picked from 7-minute virtual experiences such as parachuting, riding in a tank, watching stage performances, playing with puppies, or visiting places like Paris or Egypt. Well, study after study has found that enjoying a daily cup or two of coffee, either caffeinated or decaffeinated, may lengthen your lifespan and lower risk for chronic disease. One of the most striking findings is coffee drinkers are less prone to developing type 2 diabetes. Many large studies have found that people who drink 3 to 4 cups of coffee every day have about a 25% lower risk of the disease. And today's dietitian consulted more than 500 registered dietitians for its annual What's Trending in Nutrition survey to determine the top 10 superfoods. Fermented foods such as yogurt, kimchi, kombucha tea, and pickled vegetables made it to the top of the list, followed by blueberries, seeds like chia and hemp, avocados, and nuts, namely almonds and walnuts. From the NASDAQ market site, I'm Jane King. Here's your health.
It's a debate that has raged on for centuries among grammar experts, and last week Merriam-Webster Dictionary tried to put the age-old question to bed, affirming once and for all that it's okay to end a sentence with a preposition. And now some writers have long struggled with the idea of wrapping up a thought using words like to or of or from. As Merriam-Webster explained, the debate began with writers who tried to align English with Latin, a Romance language. But as the dictionary experts pointed out, English is not a Romance language. So ending a sentence with the word with is perfectly fine.
It's National Pancake Day, and if you're a big fan of flapjacks, here's a great place to stay and celebrate. The Eggo House of Pancakes in Gatlinburg, Tennessee is shaped like a short stack of flapjacks, complete with a stick of butter-shaped chimney and breakfast-inspired decor. And of course, there's a freezer full of flapjacks in every flavor, along with a mountain of maple syrup. It's a true pancake paradise, and the best part, you could stay for free. Bookings for March can be made exclusively on HomeToGo.com starting today at noon. Those do not look like comfortable bunk beds.
No, ew.
It looks literally like the house is made out of cardboard. Am I wrong?
Probably is.
All I'm going to say is I would like all the pancakes, please. Like, comically small thing of butter on it and a comically large thing of syrup, and I will be a very happy boy.
Real maple syrup, too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not that like high
Some local.
fructose Crohn's syrup. No, I'm talking like the stuff that you're like, get stuck. So.
Give me the goods. Give me the goods. We got a lot more coming up on your day at 6 a.m.
Yeah. First, we're going to go to the weather wall. This morning, big storyline we're watching is the threat, was the tornado that did touch down. Melena Brown is on the way to that. You can actually see it on the radar there. The green blob that popped up over Thorpe's. It was right around 5 this morning. So again, we are gathering more data from that. But at this morning, it does seem like there was a confirmed tornado touchdown just southeast of Springfield. We'll continue to track that, plus talk about your school bus forecast. Oh, that's coming up at 6 a.m.
You're watching Your Day.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
We're waking up to severe weather this morning. The immediate threat has passed, but we do know that there has been a radar-confirmed tornado touchdown in Clark County.
That's right. We have live team coverage this morning. Melena Brown is on the way to an area that may have seen some damage. So first, we're going to start with meteorologist Nick Maruziak in the Weather Center right now. How are things looking at this point, Nick?
Things are quiet now, but we do actually have the radar image from when that storm moved through. So here we are. This is between about 4:55 and 5. I'm going to slow it down and walk your way through it. So right as the storm crossed south of Springfield over in towards the Thorpe's area, we did have these oranges and the greens. That was a sign that the winds had picked up. In particular, this was the exact period right here at 4:56. Natalie Walters and I were on air, and we were remarking that is a sign of a tornado. It was also the debris ball signature that led the National Weather Service to declare that they did believe a tornado had touched down based off of radar. Now, in terms of what's going on right now, it is a lot more quiet. Still have a couple storms across the southern part of our area. The rest of today turning cooler. Even by 11 a.m., we're going to be some 20 degrees colder than right now. On the roads this morning, big issue, I-75 south near Benchwood. That is continuing to block things in the southbound direction. If that's part of your morning commute, give yourself a lot of extra time because, again, I-75 backed up in the southbound direction.
Well, as we just mentioned moments ago, there has been a radar-confirmed tornado touchdown in Clark County near Harmony Township.
That's right. So we're going to send things over to Melena Brown with a live look at conditions outside. Melena, what are you seeing?
Guys, it is not looking good. We just got into Harmony Township. There is a ton of damage. There is debris all over the place, people outside of their homes. I was able to pass a home where I saw the roof was off. It looked like a smaller, more mobile type home where the roof was completely off. There are trees down. I'm going to turn the camera. Actually, there's someone right in front of my camera right now, but if I were to turn it around, but we are getting our camera outside of our weather vehicle set up so that you guys can see the damage. There is a ton of ambulances here, a ton of firefighters here, a lot going on. Actually, we're having them, the people that are in front of our camera right now, we're having them move so I can show you guys some of the damage that we're seeing. As you can see right here, there's a power line down. We are next to a home where there's a ton of debris. You can see, it's probably hard to see, but this is looking like some roofing that has come off of a home. We have passed 2 ambulances on this road that were heading out as we were pulling in. So right now we're going to work to speak with the officers on scene, the firefighters, as many people as we can talk to can try and get as much information for you guys as possible. But just taking a look right now, it is very obvious that the tornado hit right in this area and there is a ton of damage. So I'm going to hop off, send it back to you guys in studio right now so that we can get out and start getting to work out here.
All right, thanks, Melena. Stay safe. And right now we want to give you a live look at the AES outage map. Right now we know there's nearly 10,000 customers right now experiencing power outages all around the Miami Valley. Now, some of the main spots are around the Carillon Park area. Another big area would be around Vandalia, Tip City, Huber Heights, the Phoneton area, and then also out near Yellow Springs. So, of course, we will continue to follow this storm and the aftermath very closely to get the latest updates sent directly to your phone. Download the Dayton 24/7 Now app. Scan the QR code right there on your screen. Also, you can find it for free in your device's app store. The investigation into the Montgomery County Board of Elections leaked document is over, and we now have a copy of the final report.
Jenny Borick has more about what the investigation revealed.
The investigations report we received through a public records request says that Deputy Director Russ Joseph forwarded the document to his own private email address and then sent it to Montgomery County Democratic Party Chairman Mohammed Al-Hamdani.
It also reveals Al-Hamdani then sent an email with the document to Dennis Lieberman, who's the legal counsel for the Montgomery County Democratic Party, but also the husband of Montgomery County Commission President Deborah Lieberman, who is Mary McDonald's opponent. Dennis Lieberman then sent it to Don McTeague, the legal counsel for the protesters, who said McDonald's didn't file the correct paperwork to run as a Republican. Deputy Director Joseph sent me this statement in part today. Quote, I made a mistake in releasing the prosecutor's memo. It was not labeled as a privileged document, nor did it cross my mind at the time that it might be, end quote. He went on to say he disclosed his mistake to Chairwoman McLinn and board member Gorman after the hearing and told Montgomery County BOE Director Jeff Rezabek first thing the next day. I asked Al-Hamdani why he believes Joseph sent him the document in the first place.
I'm assuming the document you're talking about is the legal research memo that their attorney did. Well, I mean, I think he did it because he felt he needed to keep his chairman approved. That's what a lot of them do. Russ is the Democrat in that, and then Jeff is the Republican. And both Jeff speaks to his chairman and Russ speaks to me, kind of keeps me up to date in what's happening internally. within the board, any conflicts, any issues that I need to be aware.
The board did vote to make the memo public. They also suggested Joseph undergo public records training, but didn't suspend him or let him go. Back to you.
Former Ohio House Speaker Larry Householder is appealing his conviction and prison sentence this morning. Householder's attorneys claim the federal government used him as a scapegoat. The former House Speaker was found guilty of taking millions of dollars in bribes to pass and uphold a nuclear plant bailout. A judge sentenced Householder to 20 years last year. The $61 million bribery scheme is the largest corruption case in Ohio history.
The trial for the man accused of attempting to kidnap a child at an elementary school continues this morning. Jurors saw body camera footage of Reed Duran trying to stab an officer in court yesterday. They also heard testimony from the father of the alleged intended victim. Investigators say he impersonated a parent at an open house at St. Bridget's School in 2022. Prosecutors say Duran planned to drug and kidnap a child. Duran pled not guilty by reason of insanity. He's back in court later this morning.
A grand jury has indicted the woman accused of killing a 5-year-old Darnell Taylor. Pammy May now faces several charges, including aggravated murder, abuse of a corpse, and 3 counts of tampering with evidence. She is accused of killing the boy and dumping his body in a Columbus sewer drain. Police say Taylor died of asphyxiation. May is set to be arraigned Friday.
The mother of a woman killed in a hit and run is asking for your help this morning. Now, 43-year-old Tiffany Anderson died just over a year ago after a car accident on Redwood Avenue. The other driver involved left the scene before police arrived. Dayton police are still looking for suspects.
Myself and her and the rest of the family, we'd love to know, we want answers. Her children deserve to see this person in court.
And as the motorists, again, look for those pedestrians, look for small children, people in wheelchairs, those sort of things that might not be at the normal height that you would expect a pedestrian, and just be aware of those sort of things.
If you have information that can help in the investigation, call Detective Reiser at 937-333-1142 or Miami Valley Crime Stoppers at 937-222-STOP.
Our time right now is 6:08. Don't forget you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of the screen.
And your weather on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
Many aspiring homeowners believe they will never be able to save enough to purchase a home. I'm Janae Bowens in Washington with a look at the roadblocks.
You're watching Your Day.
A fairly quiet and mild weekend coming. On the roads this morning, here's what we're looking at. A big tie-up right now, Benchwood Road. Did get a report that it involved a Amazon vehicle, struck the median and ended up going into the grass, and because of that, the two right lanes are now blocked. Other incidents this morning: Hempel at Soldiers Home, Miamisburg Road, James H. McGee Boulevard, 2nd Street, as well as National Road at Peters Pike. All right, let's talk some weather here, and unfortunately our graphic didn't change over, so let me fix that. We're actually going to start with the 7-day because we're going to work our way backwards here. Temperatures upper 50s, low 40s for your Thursday, and then Friday it's 50s. Now, it's worth pointing out today, you say that 59, you go, ooh, that's pretty mild. Yeah, that's ongoing right this second. We do expect temperatures to crash second half of the day. From there, it's fairly quiet up until Monday into Tuesday. Now, that's why I started there, because frankly, right for now, the big storyline continues to be the storms that have moved out. There's still an area of rain out to the west, so that has popped up near the Henry area. That is not likely to be severe. We actually have several tornado warnings right now to the east of the Columbus area, and we did have multiple that actually showed signs of spinning up. So unfortunately, we may have had multiple tornadoes this morning, including a radar confirmed tornado just to the southeast of the Springfield area in Clark County. That was right around 5 a.m.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
And we are following that radar-confirmed tornado touchdown in Clark County. It happened, we believe, in the Harmony Township area, and we're getting some reports of damage.
That's right. We're going to send things over to Melina Brown with a live look at conditions outside. Melina, what are you seeing right now?
Guys, we are seeing a ton of damage right now as we pulled in. Again, we are in Harmony Township in Clark County. It's between South Vienna and South Charleston. You can see here behind me, we have siding off of homes. This fence is destroyed. As we're looking and as I'm walking around, I'm just seeing things all over the place. There is part of this siding of this roof on this home is gone. When we pulled in, there was a ton of ambulances pulling out. There was a car in a ditch. So we know from obviously that radar confirmation and now being on the ground here that there was a tornado that hit this area. It's just quite sad to see what's going on. This home that's far behind me, there is work going on in this home, and it's dark right now, so it's hard to completely see. But from what I can see, it does appear that the roof of this home may be gone, and from what we're seeing on the ground, that does also appear to be true. Now, we are on the ground here. We're going to continue trying to talking to people. We're going to try and talk to law enforcement to see if everyone's okay and what exactly they can tell us. But right now, there is a ton of damage, and we are just working to see what we can learn here today. But for now, I am going to send it back to you guys in studio.
Thank you, Melina. Our time right now is 6:14. You're watching Your Day.
Well, we are going to get turned substantially colder after the line of rain moves out. The line of flurries should move in sometime during the afternoon, could get a couple. We're pointing out that this afternoon is going to be 30s, but with the winds, it'll feel like the 20s. Speaking of the 20s, down into the 20s overnight by midnight, and by 5 a.m., low to mid 20s across the area. It'll be crystal clear, but substantially colder. Tomorrow, we'll get up temperatures into the mid 30s, could actually get around 40 degrees during the afternoon and evening. Friday, the good news is it is going to be a warmer day overall. Still going to be cold, though, in the morning as the temperatures stay upper 20s and low 30s. So again, warmer temperatures will be here Friday. With it, maybe a chance of showers. No severe weather is likely. Of course, we did have those storms move through the area this morning, but for right now, it is all about the cold air that follows and the windy conditions. It should be around most of the daytime. I'm Nick.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
All right, good morning, everybody. We did have storms move through the air. Still tornado warnings to the east of Columbus. It was a morning where we did have a radar confirmed touchdown, and based off of the damage in the area, I think it's safe to say that it is more than likely a tornado touchdown in the Springfield general vicinity. I believe it's Harmony Township. Now, as for this morning, a lot of the rain has exited out. We still have a couple showers out to the west. Let's take a live view right now. Look at Dayton. Dayton a lot more quiet than it was just a little bit ago. If you are going to be planning out your day, plan on some cold temperatures. By 10, 11 this morning, we should be in the low 30s. We'll be upper 30s at the absolute best during the daytime. It is a cold day overall. Meanwhile, it gets even colder overnight, down into the 20s with the wind. It's going to feel like the teens in single digits. Tomorrow shouldn't be that much warmer during the daytime. We're only getting upper 30s. So for all intents and purposes, today and tomorrow, very much so on the colder side compared to the last few days. Of course, this time of year, these are kind of reasonable temperatures. We've been really treated to some mild temperatures, but as we get Thursday night into Friday morning, we'll be on the lookout. Could be a couple of showers that start to move in somewhere between, let's say, mid to late day Friday and possibly early Saturday. Meanwhile, if you're traveling this morning, one big issue to report, at least in the Dayton area, it's I-75 south at Benchwood. A Amazon truck got off the road, and I believe it's on the grassy areas, and because of that, two right lanes are now blocked. Again, I-75 south, a mess as two right lanes are blocked down to the one left lane.
Our time right now is 6:19. You're watching Your Day.
Good morning, I'm Alex King from Dayton 24/7 Now, and here are your local headlines for Wednesday, February 28th. The mother of a woman killed in a hit and run is asking for your help. 43-year-old Tiffany Anderson died last year after a car accident on Redwood Avenue. The other driver left the scene before police arrived. Dayton police are still looking for suspects.
Myself and her and the rest of the family, we want answers. Her children deserve to see this person in court.
And as the motorists, again, look for those pedestrians, look for small children, people in wheelchairs, those sort of things that might not be at the normal height that you would expect a pedestrian, and just be aware of those sort of things.
If you have any information that could help in the investigation, call Detective Reiser at 937-333-1142 or Miami Valley Crime Stoppers at 937-222-STOP. For the latest local news, turn to Dayton 24/7 Now News until 10 a.m. And remember, we're always online on Dayton247now.com.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
All right, good morning. Good news, bad news time. The bad news, of course, we did have severe weather, including a probable tornado touchdown. The only reason I'm using the term probable is National Weather Service is going to go out and investigate it with the emergency managers of Clark County later on, either today or tomorrow, and we'll get actual confirmation of what is likely a tornado that did touch down based on radar and based on the damage. Now, that being said, Pickerington area, we do have sirens going off, more tornadoes there, or at least the potential for tornadoes. Out to the west, there's not much, but it is worth pointing out, it is going to turn substantially colder. Look at the temperature spread, 6 and 3. Those are single-digit high temperatures in parts of Dakotas and Minnesota, and then you start looking towards us, and it is going to turn much colder. The line has now moved to Fort Wayne and Muncie. We are going to turn colder probably by mid-morning, but by afternoon it'll be in the 30s, so be prepared for that. Be prepared also if you are on the roads this morning, because we do have an ongoing traffic issue. Benchwood Road, I-75 South, 2 right lanes are blocked. And because of that, significant traffic issue this morning as you head out the door.
Home ownership seems impossible for many Americans. More than half say the cost of living is too high or their income is not high enough to buy a home. National correspondent Janae Bowens has a look at the roadblocks.
We're all unable to buy a house right now, right?
Sam Hart vents to her followers about how owning a home is out of reach.
Rent is so astronomical that we are actually not able to save for a home.
She's not the only one. Bankrate found more than half of aspiring homeowners say the cost of living is too high or their income is not high enough to afford a down payment and closing costs for a home.
The economy has dodged a recession, but Americans have their complaints about inflation, and justifiably so, given the fact that their buying power is severely eroded by inflation.
Bankrate's senior economic analyst Mark Hamrick says even though Americans are getting paid more, many are not able to save for the upfront home costs and the ones after.
It's for maintenance, repairs, or eventually even renovation. And so it makes it all the more important to make sure that we don't buy a house and then become house poor because we're going to have to pay money for other things.
Younger aspiring homeowners say a lack of financial assistance from friends and family, as well as credit card and student loan debt, are also roadblocks, especially when mortgage rates are above 7% and the average price of a home last month was nearly $380,000.
I gotta keep paying bills, I gotta keep paying rent, I gotta keep eating, I gotta keep going places. And if I'm doing that, I just can't save that much money on the side.
20% of aspiring homeowners believe they will never be able to save enough to purchase a home. But mortgage rates are expected to go down this year, so fingers crossed that might help some folks with buying one. In Washington, I'm Janae Bowens.
Our time right now is 6:25.
Here's Julie Moran with America's Steals and Deals.
The following segment is sponsored by Noki.
I just love my KeySmart Smart Card, and you will never lose your wallet or anything that you value again with KeySmart. And I love that it's as thin as 2 credit cards, so you can put it anywhere. Like if it works for you, put it in your wallet. You can put it in your briefcase. You can put it in a suitcase or a backpack or anything of value that you don't want to lose. Now, say if I drop my wallet in a parking lot, which I've done, I will hear a ringtone once I'm 200 feet away on my phone. And also, if you don't hear it, you'll get an alert on your phone that you've left it behind, and you'll get the exact location. And the smart card uses the Find My iPhone app. It's so easy to set up, and that connects you. And I love that you only have to charge this once a year. The charge lasts for an entire year, so you don't have to keep taking it out and recharging it and redoing it. Well, once I threw my wallet in a garbage can, and if I had had KeySmart, I'd have known where my wallet was before the garbage truck came and it took my wallet away. Then I had to get new credit cards, new license, all of that. It was terrible. Well, right now we're offering 25% off on the KeySmart Smart Card. So we want you to head over to asadeals.com for this absolutely, I just love this, amazing exclusive offer right now.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
Some communities in the Miami Valley waking up to damage this morning due to severe weather overnight and into the morning. We even saw what appears to be a radar-confirmed tornado touchdown in Clark County.
That's right. We have a live team coverage this morning. We have Melena Brown out surveying some damage. But first, we're going to send things over to meteorologist Nick Maruziak, who is in the Weather Center right now. So, Nick, in terms of radar, what has really stood out this morning?
Well, the big feature was actually a debris ball signature. This was why the National Weather Service went to a radar confirmed tornadoes. So we talk about sometimes radar indicated rotation. This is a case where they went all the way of saying, no, there's likely a tornado on the ground. So first things first, it was this signature here that was about 456. This, along with the velocity, was where we did actually see the potential for a tornado to have touched down. You can see how it moved east. Now, meanwhile, at the same time period, we're going to slow this down. This is the velocity, and right about that period, we had a very tight couplet. That's the area of oranges and greens. That was a sign that a tornado is on the ground. And based off of that, again, that's why the National Weather Service went ahead and said we think it was a radar-confirmed tornado. And obviously, based on what we have seen this morning so far, that seems to be the same case. Now, we are also tracking a traffic issue this morning, and that is at Benchwood Road. This is separate than any type of storm damage. This is because we did have a crash. The two right lanes are blocked. Luckily, I'm not seeing any type of big tie-ups in the Dayton area due to the weather this morning. But again, elsewhere, completely different story.
Now, we did mention people waking up and having to clean up damage this morning. A lot of that happening in Harmony Township, where we saw that radar-confirmed tornado touchdown.
So we are going to send things over to Melena Brown, who is live out there taking a look at damage. And Melena, you just spoke with some homeowners. What did they say?
I was able to just speak with homeowners, and they tell us while they're doing okay right now, this was quite a scary experience for them. You can see some of this debris behind me. This is actually from their neighbor's home and barn that pushed the wind, and the tornado pushed into the back of their home. They heard glass break, they heard rattling. The husband, the owner of the home, him and his wife were telling me they could literally hear, it sounded like a train coming through this area. There is a ton of debris up against the back of their home. Their back door is pushed in, glass is broke. You can also see here they're missing the siding of their roof right here on the side of their home. So it's quite clear here, being on the ground, that a tornado did move through this area. There's damage all over. One thing we are able to tell you now at this time, we were hoping to be able to speak with someone and make sure everyone is okay. Then the owners of this home have spoke to every single one of their neighbors and have said everyone right in this general vicinity is okay. And that report that someone was trapped was actually this home right behind us here. They were trapped in a room, but there were no injuries. They are doing okay at this time. Right now, they're just waiting for the sun to come up and to be able to begin starting to process what happened here and work to get this cleaned up. For now, I'm going to send things back to you guys in studio.
Melena, thanks for showing us that scene out there in Clark County. Now we want to take you over to Montgomery County, just in Bethel Township. This was sent to us by Emily, and you could see just the wind whipping that rain around. You could see actually the branches of a tree behind it also holding its own as the storm moved through the Miami Valley. And of course, we want to see your storm pictures. They help us tell the story. Now, once the sun comes up, and you could safely do so, chime them in by scanning the QR code right there on your screen. Now, you can also click on the Chime In tab on our website. That's Dayton247now.com. You may see your pictures live on the air. And of course, to get the latest updates sent directly to your phone, download the Dayton 24/7 Now app. Just scan the QR code on your screen right now. You can also find it for free in your device's app store. Congress has until Friday to avoid a partial government shutdown. President Biden hosting a meeting with congressional leaders in the Oval Office yesterday, discussing a possible government shutdown and an ongoing request for aid for Ukraine and Israel.
I want to thank the leaders for being here today. We got a lot of work to do. We got to figure out how we're going to keep funding the government, which is an important problem, an important solution we need to find, and I think we can do that. And Ukraine, I think the need is urgent. I hope we get to speak to that a little bit.
House Republicans are demanding border security measures before providing any additional aid money. They also threaten to shut down the government if their demands aren't met. But there's hope it could be avoided after today's meeting.
We have been working in good faith around the clock every single day for months and weeks, and over the last several days, quite literally around the clock, to get that job done. We're very optimistic.
House Speaker Mike Johnson says his priorities are America first, including funding the government and protecting the southern border. That goal is shared by Democrats, but they warn that Ukraine faces defeat at the hands of the Russian army if they don't receive military equipment immediately. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says the discussion was spirited.
The meeting on Ukraine was one of the most intense I have ever encountered in my many meetings in the Oval Office. We said to the Speaker, get it done.
The government funding deadline is Friday. It's likely that continuing resolutions will be needed to keep all departments open. Those in the room say a border deal seems further away. It's not clear if Johnson will bring the Ukraine and Israel funding to a vote without a border deal first.
Hunter Biden is set to appear on Capitol Hill tomorrow for a closed-door deposition. It's part of the impeachment inquiry into his father, President Biden, that's heavily focused on foreign business dealings. The interview came together after months of public sniping, political stunts, and the threat of criminal contempt charges and hardball negotiations. The deposition will not be filmed, and the transcript will be released quickly to the public to avoid leaks.
Montgomery County nonprofits can soon apply to get part of the $2 million in funding. County commissioners announced the direct opioid settlement funding opportunity will open Friday. The money comes from state settlements with opioid manufacturers and distributors. Local agencies that provide prevention, treatment, and community recovery support to the county can apply and get up to $200,000.
There is still more work that needs to be done and more lives that need to be saved. So here we are today, reinvesting and recommitting to the crucial work required to end overdoses and to save lives.
This funding is only a portion of the $10 million from the settlement. $6 million will help construct the new behavioral health unit inside the Montgomery County Jail.
Our time right now is 6:37. Don't forget you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of the screen.
And your weather on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
Dayton men's basketball back home after almost a week between games. Could the Flyers stay perfect at home against Davidson? Coming up, Matt Digby breaks down last night's game.
You're watching Your Day.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
These folks are on the move with a winter sport called skijoring, from the Norwegian word meaning ski driving. Those you see here are pulled by a horse, but dogs or cars can do the pulling as well. There's also an alliance promoting independent skijoring races in the U.S. And Francis the dog may not be skijoring, but this new bouncy ball and the snow provide plenty of excitement for this playful pooch.
For more content like this, like the National Weather Desk on Facebook.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
Well, I was just looking over a couple of our radar images, and I happened to notice the exact one that I've been looking for. Now, this is the debris ball signature that was found over New Love Road. This is actually where our Melina Brown is currently. And I was looking at it, and I also found at the exact time. Check out the velocities here. The gate-to-gate shear, what that means is winds one direction and winds the other direction. That is impressive. That is why we did think that there was a tornado on the ground at the time. Now, it continued to move east towards the greater Plattsburgh area, South Vienna, so there may still be some spots. I did also get reports of downed power lines near Yellow Springs. So Yellow Springs in particular was hit hard as well. Obviously, we're focusing a lot of our attention on Springfield, but if you are in the Yellow Springs area, don't worry. We do have, we are keeping track of incidents there, as well as just about anywhere else that they may be popping up this morning. All right, as for today, temperatures upper 50s giving way to 40s. Yes, that upper 50 is probably next hour or two temperature, because it is going to fall. Speaking of fall, all the way into the 20s, it's going to feel like winter with the winds at 10 to 20, making it feel like the teens in single digits. Tomorrow, temperatures getting in the low 40s. We'll call it generally sunny. It will be much cooler. Tomorrow, the cool day. Warmer temperatures arrive for the weekend and into next week. Highs will be in the upper 60s Monday into Tuesday.
A slow start Tuesday night at University of Dayton Arena, but that did not come back to hurt Dayton men's basketball. The Flyers ending up winning comfortably 80-66 over the Wildcats of Davidson College. Now, the visitors did take a little bit of advantage from that slow UD start. They jumped out to a 6-0 lead, but a big run for the Flyers, led in large part by Enoch Cheeks. The majority of his 15 points for the game scored in that run, and that would be the big story for Dayton men's basketball. They were able to spread the wealth and have 6 players when all was said and done in double figures. Yes, Deron Holmes had a double-double with 14 points and 10 rebounds, but Kobe Brea was 17 points off the bench. Kobe Elvis, 11 points. And it was the Dayton Flyers maintaining their perfect home record on Tuesday night.
It shows, the maturity level of the team for sure. After the Mason game, we sat in the locker room. We talked for a long time about how we could all be better. So that just shows we all want to do better and, make sure we come out the next game. It was good that we had, a week off to kind of prep for this. And we really wanted to get ourselves, going before we went into Loyola.
It's awesome to be in that situation. We have so many guys that are able to make one play, and you just feel like the momentum come right away. And, we're a team that, once we see that ball go through the rim one time, we just keep going. We have so many players and so many weapons that, are able to contribute for us. So.
We didn't necessarily start our best, but I thought they stayed the course. I thought defensively, we got great efforts tonight all the way across the board. I thought offensively, the ball movement in the first half was as good as we've had in quite some time. I thought they really shared the ball. When you look at the stat sheet and you see 6 guys in double figures, I think that's indicative of, what this team is capable of.
Now, with Tuesday's win, Dayton has secured a top 4 seed in the Atlantic 10 tournament in a couple of weeks' time. That means the Flyers will have a bye through the first and second rounds. They won't play until the quarterfinals. The Flyers will be involved in a key contest Friday night when they go on the road to Loyola Chicago, the only meeting of the regular season between the Flyers and the Ramblers. At UD Arena, I'm Matt Digby.
Our time right now is 6:45. You're watching Your Day.
Today we're looking at temperatures in the upper 50s, mostly cloudy with some flurries at times. Of course, it will be windy during the second half of the day. We're pointing out that it does turn substantially cooler later on. Beyond that, temperatures 40s for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all going to be mild. Next week also going to be mild, but we are going to see some chances of rain develop somewhere around the Tuesday time period. So keep in mind that we do have some shots at maybe a couple of showers Friday and also Tuesday. I'm Nick Maruziak.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
We've been talking all morning about that radar-confirmed tornado right here in New Harmony. Melina Brown actually was out on the scene here on New Love Road. And Nick, let's talk about the wind speeds here. We were picking up some pretty strong winds on the radar.
Yeah, 95-mile-an-hour velocity. Now, one thing I'd like to point out is this is looking into the mid to upper atmosphere. So sometimes at the surface, the winds could be lower. But even if they're 10, 15, 20 miles an hour lower, that's still 75, 80, 90-mile-an-hour winds. And more importantly, the gate-to-gate shear, that is the wind circulating. And that's when, obviously, we got declared a tornado warning.
Yeah, and we saw it with the debris, the roofs ripped off. So the National Weather Service will most certainly go out to the site, survey, try to determine the strength of the storm. How do they go about doing that?
Well, let me show you this. So this is the enhanced Fujita scale. Reminder, the enhanced Fujita scale is a damage scale. So what they'll look for is indicators. They call them damage indicators. So for number one would be threshold to visible damage, a total destruction. Then they look at, okay, where would these winds line up? And then from there, they can actually get the scale itself. So you see 112 versus 131. That's how they're going to determine the strength of this tornado.
As we mentioned, there needs to be a survey done by the National Weather Service and also cleanup for damage. What's the weather going to be like for the rest of the day for that?
It's going to be very cold during the second half of the day. So this is what it looked like earlier this morning. Again, a huge amount of shear in that area. And in fact, enough shear that we had a debris bolt signature. That's never a good sign when you see that. Now, in terms of what it looks like right now, this is what it looks like in Dayton. Cloudy skies, kind of gray. We do have some showers that are on the backside of this system. So there you see the showers moving in. Nothing particularly noteworthy other than the fact that we could see some more light rain, perhaps maybe even a thunder, let's call it shower, off to the south, that down around the Cincinnati, Warren County areas. For the rest of today, though, I mentioned the cold air. It is going to turn substantially colder, meaning 30s and 40s during the daytime at best. And frankly, for a lot of us, it may be a case where it feels like the 20s. Speaking of the 20s, will drop down for anybody without power all the way through Thursday morning. This is going to be a bitter cold night. You want to find some way to stay warm, whether it's extra blankets or finding a family member who still has power. Meanwhile, for Thursday, temperatures will bump up into the upper 30s and low 40s. 50s on Friday. Could see a couple showers Friday and also Tuesday of next week. Some of that could move in for early Monday morning. Good news is this morning, the one piece of good news we've had, Benchwood Road is finally cleared up. This after an earlier crash. This was not weather related. This was happened afterwards. That shut down the right 2 lanes on the southbound direction. Now it's moving a lot more free.
Our time right now is 6:52. You're watching Your Day.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
Many people in Clark County waking up this morning with damage after a radar-confirmed tornado hit Harmony Township.
We have a live team coverage this morning. Melena Brown is live out there. You can see she's surveying some damage there. And we also have meteorologist Nick Maruziak in the Weather Center. Nick, how is it looking out there at this point?
Well, at this point, it's a lot more quiet. But you know what? I want to bring us back to right around 5 a.m. This is where we did have what we call a tornado debris signature. We also had really impressive signature when it came to velocity. We call this a couplet. 117 mile per hour gate-to-gate shear. Velocity is 90, and as I was mentioning with Nathan a little bit ago, this is the type of velocity that suggests that even at the bare minimum, we had levels of winds that were capable of damage. The debris signature looks something along these lines. Now, it wasn't actually the only signature that we had. Earlier in the morning, and maybe by a handful of minutes, we actually had one over in the Riverside area of Dayton. So this was a case where it wasn't just the area around Springfield, but it was also a little bit further to the east. Unfortunately, it looks like our graphic will not be able to show that, but alas, I do think there was a period where we had multiple cells that were capable of producing a tornado. Luckily, we're done with that. We are in the clear at this point. Showers, maybe a couple rumbles of thunder. These are not going to be severe. So again, the severe weather threat over, tornado watch over. We are going to stay cloudy and cool though. Second half day, much cooler across the board. On the roads this morning so far, it's been a relatively quiet morning commute other than the earlier incident at Benchwood Road. That has since been cleaned up, so at this point, things are moving a lot more smoothly across the roads.
To get the latest updates sent directly to your phone, download the Dayton 24/7 app and scan the QR code right there on your screen. You can find it for free in your device's app store.
A grand jury has indicted the woman accused of killing 5-year-old Darnell Taylor. Pammy May now faces several charges, including aggravated murder, abuse of a corpse, and 3 counts of tampering with evidence. She is accused of killing the boy and dumping his body in a Columbus sewer drain. Police say Taylor died of asphyxiation. May is set to be arraigned Friday.
The mother of a woman killed in a hit and run is asking for your help this morning. Now, 43-year-old Tiffany Anderson died just over a year ago after a car accident on Redwood Avenue. The other driver involved left the scene before police arrived. Dayton police are still looking for suspects.
Myself and her and the rest of the family, we'd love to know, we want answers. Her children deserve to see this person in court.
And as the motorists, again, look for those pedestrians, look for small children, people in wheelchairs, those sort of things that might not be at the normal height that you would expect a pedestrian, and just be aware of those sort of things.
If you have information that could help in the investigation, call Detective Reiser at 937-333-1142 or Miami Valley Crime Stoppers at 937-222-STOP.
Okay, one last look at the traffic situation. Again, moving a lot freer than was a little bit ago. We had an earlier incident over at Benchwood Road. Of course, big storyline this morning is the tornado that did touch down in Springfield. And you go back to yesterday, that's why we issued the code red weather alert. We actually issued it 2 days ago because we saw the threat coming, and that's one of those ways that we could get out ahead of it and say, you need to stay weather aware. It was 4 o'clock in the morning and we had our first tornado warning. We had severe thunderstorm warnings, and now we're waking up to a mess in Springfield. Again, for some of those folks in, I believe it's New Harmony Township.